People want to know the response to an evil action almost as much as they care about the evil action. The people who are persecuted shouldn't have to answer. But that's not the way it is.
Do you know that you have a whole team that's black that plays for you?
Do I know? I support them and give them food and clothes and cars. Who gives it to them? Does someone else give it to them? Who makes the game? Do I make the game or do they make the game?
The best players in the world, the reason they're the best players a lot of times is because they reduce stress and anxiety outside of the game. And they come to the game and they can lock in. But then there's a time in life where all bets are off.
The story first broke in the early morning in the Eastern Time Zone today. But Donald Sterling and the firestorm that he now finds himself in, that story continues to unfold and dominate headlines.
It was the story. It was one of the rare moments in NBA history where no other story mattered.
You know, off-the-court distractions have long been a part of postseason play, but this isn't a player in trouble at a nightclub. This is a team, the Clippers, burdened by ignorant, racist comments allegedly made by its owner.
This is supposed to be kind of the good league, but the danger of things that seem good on the surface is like they're really dark underneath. Yeah.
First crisis for new NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, with everyone watching how strongly and swiftly the league will respond.
And again, all of this coming in the middle of what is probably the most promising postseason in Clippers history.
You got to think that this situation has been weighing on these players.
With something like this that you know you can't escape, it's hard to just go out there and play.
This Clippers team in the midst of the postseason, what are you hearing about how they're going to be handling this?
I was actually told within the hour that players were considering actually not playing.
The scenes playing out across this country don't require much description. 306 days since Senator Obama shocked the political world and won the Iowa caucuses. He is now projected to be the 44th president of the United States.
You know, there was this moment in 2008 when Obama was elected, and some people started talking about post-racial America. We've elected our first African-American president. Racism is dead and gone, never to be dealt with again. Post-racial America, the biggest hoax in American history.
I am Trayvon! I am Trayvon!
Without warning today, President Obama decided to blow open the argument about race and bias in America, calling on the nation to do some soul searching.
When Trayvon Martin was first shot, I said that this could have been my son. Another way of saying that is Trayvon Martin could have been me. The African-American community is looking at this issue through a set of experiences and a history that doesn't go away.
As outrage continues to spread across the country, members of the Miami Heat basketball team donned hoodies in a Twitter post Friday night, protesting the killing of Trayvon Martin.
I mean, first of all, sports has always been political. Sports has always been political. I'm appreciative when the mask is ripped off and people can see sports for what it is, which is a reflection of our society. And so there was a massive collision between the beginnings of the Black Lives Matter movement and the National Basketball Association. The whole narrative around Trayvon and this idea that he was deemed suspicious because he was wearing a hoodie, I mean, that affected NBA players because despite their wealth and their fame, that could very easily be their kid.
A lot of us are fathers, a lot of us have young boys, and you know, for us to be in the position we're in, we're happy that we're able to share light on the situation.
It's so interesting because you go back to like 1992 for a second, where you have the LA riots. You don't see any NBA players say anything about that at the time. I mean, NBA players were living in their own world, in their own space, in their own heads. That's Generation Jordan.
Michael Jordan, he taught players how to make global money. And, you know, once he became essentially the face of Nike, he provided a very specific blueprint for athletes, especially black athletes, which is stay apolitical, don't say anything that will piss anybody off, and you can sell as many shoes or as much merchandise as possible.
Michael, at a certain point, was very corporate, and many of the Nike commercials, particularly in the second part of his career, represent Jordan as this sort of ultra successful businessman, this great capitalist. Jordan famously said Republicans buy sneakers too. He chooses neutrality in the interest of advancing his brand. But each generation, I think, is faced with the issues of their times.
I think sometimes we forget about what the players did in the case of Donald Sterling. And I think one of the reasons why it's been written out of the books is because what the players were doing was actually really dangerous.
Nobody knows better than Black athletes that their relationship with mainstream success is conditional. The moment they are not able to entertain you is the moment that you cease to see them as the transcendent Black person. And you might actually be seeing them as a real Black person. We've seen so many careers that have been frankly ruined because they decided to speak out about injustice. Considering the price that a lot of people have paid, can you blame them for wanting to be silent, even when it seems as if staying silent is a much higher price to pay than speaking up?
When you talk to Doc Rivers, when you talk to the players that were there, they knew that this was probably the best chance that they had to do something that has never been done before. This was a chance for them to win a title, and they were trying to juggle whether or not to walk away from that or whether to end up on the court.
I think there was so much going on. Basketball probably was like one of the last things on any of our minds.
I've been in some bad locker rooms in terms of, emotions. What should we do here?
If you don't stand for something or you don't speak up on something, then you're part of the problem. You're damn near saying that you're okay with whatever's going on.
I look back, often wonder where would we be as a franchise. We did the right thing.
That whole week was the worst, and I would say the best thing that ever happened to the Clippers.
It was a shit show, man, just to tell you the truth.